Well met, adventurers. 'Tis I, Nathaniel Gomezian, shopkeeper and proprietor of Gaming Treasure Chest, which, as I've said in a previous video, the plan is that I want to start a 3D printing business. So maybe you're thinking about starting a 3D printing business. As I said, I'm not exactly an expert because this is my first time doing this, running a business and also starting a 3D printing business, but hopefully we shall learn along the way. So these are the things which I've done, which I think are legitimate things to try to do to start with. So I'm going to be breaking this video down into sections, trying to cover what it should be like if you're trying to start a 3D printing business, trying to go maybe a little bit smarter than what I am, and also what I'm doing, because why would I do the smart plan? That's not how I operate. So in my opinion, the first step to starting a 3D printing business is obviously to get a 3D printer. So from what you can see here, I have two Elegoo Neptune 2s, the Pros, and I also have one Neptune 3 Pro. I like the Elegoo ones just because they're reasonably priced and they have actually given significant support. There was a problem which happened with one of the printers, like one of the parts got damaged, and I emailed them and they actually sent me a replacement part for free. Obviously that was because it was really within a year of purchase. I don't know whether or not this thing, but they were very nice in the emails. It was very easy to get in contact with them. And that's why I like the Elegoo ones, just because also I know what I'm getting and how to use them. There's a little bit of putting it together when it first comes, because it does come in separate pieces, but there are online instruction videos and it's very easy to understand. I know that there's quite a few people who like the Bamboo Labs, because yeah, again, they're all reasonably priced. Luckily enough, we've got to a point now where 3D printers are actually nicely priced. If this is something that you wanted to go into, it used to be they were thousands of pounds, but now it is quite reasonably priced. There are numerous other ones like the Ender 3, but obviously that's only filament printers. There are also resin printers as well. Now it depends on what you want to be trying to sell or what you're trying to do with your 3D business, or just 3D printing in general, whether or not you want big things along the lines of like I said, there's multiple pieces which go into this Warhammer, but there are little details like the thread which goes into this, which then opens up so a dice can go through there. There's also a thread on the top for the handle that goes on. But if you want to do like big things like this, I'd recommend a filament printer. You can do nice details in big scale, but if you want to do like miniatures and really things which have got like a really supreme detail, then I'd recommend a resin printer, because resin printers are very good with detail, but obviously it's more expensive. Resin printers can be more expensive if you're trying to make bigger things, whereas it's cheaper to make bigger things with filament. So it depends on what you really are trying to make and what you want. Like I said, if you want miniatures, definitely resin would be the way to go. So those are the things when it comes to actually deciding which 3D printer you want. But obviously it's not just good enough just to have the 3D printer, you need to have the things which are going to make the items. So with filament printers, there's filament. So filament can range depending on what kind of filament you're going for, because there are loads of different types of filament, but like a PLA is the standard, and that's what I use for most of my prints. So you're looking along the lines of like a 12, I'd say maybe £11, £12 to £20 per 1 kilogram of filament. That's what all of these ones are here. You do also have some really premium filaments that can cost a bit more, so depending on what you want carbon fibre, you want ones which change colour depending on which direction you're looking at them from, can be a little bit more expensive. There is also glow in the dark filament as well, but that is what you can get this in the resins as well. But obviously the resins, I'm not sure what the prices are on them. I will probably throw up some clips of different things or whatnot, but obviously I don't have a resin printer. There is actually part of me that does want to get a resin printer at some point, which but that's future talks at this moment in time. I've got 3 of these printers at the moment, so we'll see that in the future, potentially. Maybe we'll find out. Keep watching this channel and follow the adventure. We'll find out whether or not that does end up happening. But anyway, that is what I think is the first step. So the second step when it comes to 3D printing / running a 3D printing business is obviously products. You need things that people want and people are going to buy from you. So, because you could have a 3D printer, but if you're not printing anything, you've got no products, then what the hell's the point? So the other thing is getting products. So there are several different ways to do this. So there is the smarter way of doing this, which is going to places like Thingiverse and Cults 3D. I will put these links down below, by the way, just so you know, but just like I showed, but you can get loads of models from them, and as long as they have a Creative Commons license on them, or if you look in, it will show you what kind of license people have put on their products. You are allowed to print and sell certain ones. Not every single thing which is on there. I said only if it comes under the Creative Commons license. I'm not a big fan of this personally, just because a lot of the time, like especially like knowing what goes into designing things now, like I didn't used to, but since getting into 3D design, knowing how much work goes into 3D designing, I'd at least expect you to credit whoever it was who made the design. So whatever posting for selling, I would at least expect you to do that. And it would also be nice like to send them some money. But obviously, like, it depends, you have to get in contact with them. But I know there's a lot of people who don't do it. So a lot of people who get into the, like, putting things online, starting a 3D printing biz, will just find whichever ones they can find Creative Commons and just print loads of them and just never credit the artist, never do anything, never send them any money, anything like that. I don't like that personally, because I think that's a bit scummy, but there are a lot of people who do that. There are people who also take things which aren't under the Creative Commons license and sell them, which, like, is going a little bit, it might, like, even more too far. It's not really well regulated, I will say that. Like, you know, I haven't heard of any, like, court cases and that have come out of this, but, like, obviously if the artist finds your listing and sees, hey, wait a minute, that's my work, and they've not which I've not got this so that people can sell this, they might be able to come after you. Well, they probably will come after you, I don't know how, but I'm just saying that that's something, like, I wouldn't recommend going down that line. That's not the line I go down. I said, like, I know that I said, like, the smarter thing is when people start 3D printing businesses is that they find products, or you can actually obviously go on to places like Fiverr and hire somebody to design products for you if you don't know how to design things yourself, which, like, it's completely understandable. Like, you can create products through that. But you can get a lot of things very quickly off the ground, like, by finding things from places like Thingiverse and Cults. But obviously, as I said, that is the smarter way to do things. I will actually say there are pluses and minuses, but I will get to that. That's a smart way. Or you can do the crazy way, like me, and design all the things yourself. Now, that's not a bad thing in terms of the fact that, like, the reason why I do it that way is because I know that everything which I'm putting out there, I have designed and I'm happy with. You know, along the lines of, like, whoop, let's grab something or other. You know, you got this mace, like, this mace which allows you to store dice actually in the, I just dropped the thing on the floor, but it allows you to store dice there, but also allows you to store dice in this end of things as well. Now, like, I'm very happy with this design, and I hope that people who would buy it would be happy with it as well. But there's many ways to store dice, and it's just a nice little thing to have. But as I said, it did take time to design. There were numerous things that had to be done with that. I believe that obviously they said there's the hammer, which is there's nunchucks, there's also this lovely dice lamp, which is behind me as well, which I designed, which is glowing different colours. But yeah, so there's loads of things. It allows me to design whatever I want, and I always try to design things which I think I would love to have that, and so why would I not design it and hope that other people might want to have them as well. The good thing is that they are unique items. You can't get that flail anywhere else that I know of, because obviously I designed the thing. It's a lot more easier to stand out from the market if you're not got something, because obviously you got the other thing, which is using like Thingiverse and using Cults. If people are doing that, then you'll see there are a lot of listings which are under those items. That's because they are literally just people who've just grabbed the designs and started selling them, and it's going to be really hard to stand out in the marketplace when you're just using something which is literally you've just taken from somebody, you've just taken the STL file and thrown it up online. I mean, I know that I sell my STL files, which might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, because obviously then people can copy that and they could sell some of my items as well. That's why not every item is an STL, but I put the STLs out there because, you know, I like 3D printing. There's other people who like 3D printing, and so people might not want to design, might not want to buy the physical item, but they might want to buy it to print themselves. And I'm all for that because I like the idea of that. There is a thing in there where I do say people can get in contact with me if they do want to sell it, because if they do, then we'll come up with some kind of arrangement. But as I said, that's just the way that I do things personally. That's if anyone actually bothers to. People might just take my designs and sell them anyway, but we'll see if I come after them if I find them. It's not only that is the reason why I do STLs, there is another reason. So for example, one of the recent STLs that I just put out is this dice tower, which is made of dice. Now, the reason why I've just done this as an STL file and I don't actually sell the physical items, because another thing that you need to think about when it comes to your products and 3D printing is how long things take to print. So this is all one item, and because it's all one item, this takes 2 days to print. And so 2 days to print. I've only got 3 3D printers, and so this takes up one printer for 2 whole days. And like, admittedly, I'm not getting many orders at the moment, but if I hopefully get into a point where I hope to be, where getting like weekly orders, then having something like this would really clog up my time of printing. So that's the reason why I don't actually sell that. When it comes to selling your products, it is good to know what kind of pricing to put out, but we'll get to that in a moment. As I said, so because you need to know like how long it's going to take and how much filament, how much it is going to be, that printer is going to be out of action for, so like you can't print anything else while it's happening. So say that you are deciding to, like me, design your own products, you're going to need software in order to do that. So what software do you use? Well, I said there are numerous softwares out there for designing 3D things. I use Fusion 360. Now the reason why I use Fusion 360 is because I like it as a software. It's very nice. It's got a lot of utility, but also like quite simple to learn how to use. There are numerous online tutorials on YouTube and things where it will teach you how to do different things. It's just about putting those things together. Like you can do threads really easily on there, like I said, the twisty things in order to, that's very easy to do once you know how to do it. And designing things, I said, like, you know, as with anything, it takes time. I said I've been learning how to use Fusion 360 for just about a couple, like 6 months or so. But in doing so, like, you know, it's been like a very rewarding process to be able to see my items come to life. Make my monsters grow. I don't know why that came into my head. I will say that it is very expensive. It's like £660 a year to use Fusion 360. But there is also the free way of using it, which is only for personal use. You do get it for a year. You can actually renew it every year. It's just that it's a little bit hard. They make it complicated, so you don't see. You know, it's not easy to do. But if you look it up, again, there's like videos online which show you how to renew that subscription for free every year, so you can get that subscription to to be able to use it. There's like, it's got limited function in the free mode, but you can still do so many things. That is an amazing piece of kit software to use. There's also Blender as well. I haven't used Blender too much. I'm trying to teach myself how to learn Blender, because I think, yeah, again, it's a really good piece of software that you can make 3D stuff for. It's more like really good for modeling, and that's what I really want to try and get into as well. Like, because obviously a lot of my stuff that I've got at the moment, like I want to make more kind of like slight details and things, which like requires a bit more modeling, which was what Blender is really good for. So yeah, again, that is completely free. There are probably other things I've heard of, things like Tinkercad or something along those lines. There are other softwares, but those are like the main ones that I know of. And I said, like, there's many tutorials for any kind of software like that you use. It's going to be many tutorials which are going to be able to help you out online. So like, if that's something, if you want to get into making your own designs, I'd highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And there are great pieces of software to use. So step 3, you have your 3D printer, you have your products, but where the hell are you going to sell them? You need somewhere to sell your items. So there are numerous different places that you can sell your items. So let's get into each one step by step. So at the moment, I'm selling mine on Etsy. The reason why I'm selling mine on Etsy is because it's like homemade, homemade stuff, which like a 3D printing is still kind of handmade. Like I have had to design the stuff by hand myself and then print them and whatnot. So I still consider that to be in that kind of thing. It's also Etsy. So number one, it gives me visibility because there's loads of people on there searching for things. So I like that. Number two, it's a website which people kind of know and trust, and there's kind of like that. There's Etsy between you and buying. So like, if you buy something and you don't know whether or not you can trust them, you don't receive the item, you can get in touch with Etsy. Etsy will refund you your money, and there's just that barrier in between, which is like it gives you that kind of like safety net. Because let's face it, I'm a new entity. People don't know if they can trust me or not online. Like I can completely understand that. I mean, I'm a trustworthy guy, but They don't know that. So that's why I'm going for Etsy, like while I'm trying to build up a brand, so to speak. That's why I'm doing videos. That's why I'm like, I've got shorts going out. Like, that's we'll get into that in a bit, because that's the social media bit, which is the next step after you find somewhere to sneak peek ahead. But there is a bad side to Etsy, which is obviously all the fees which they put on top of when you sell an item. Now, we'll go into these one by one, but basically, I have to put my prices up as high as they are, which I don't want my prices to be as high as they are. I do actually want to get my prices down. But the reason why they are so high, as I will go through all the different deductions which happen, is because of the different charges which Etsy does, which takes quite a bit off of each time that you sell something, as well as the fact that every single time when you put something on there, even renewing something which you already have, it is always like 20 cents, which like it does add up over time, like every single time when you list a new item or whatnot.
Okay, so this was a recent order which happened on the shop, and I'm just going to be going through this very quickly, just so you can see and understand what the Etsy fees are like. So this was on sale for $69.99. They did use a coupon code, so they did get £7 off, and then there was £20 postage. We will get into why it's £20 postage in a moment, but this is like obviously the total price they paid was the $82.99. So whoop, if we go here, this is where it shows you. So there's the $82.99. Now straight away they take a processing fee of 4% off, so they've already deducted that there. They then do another transaction fee which takes an additional 6.5%, so that's there. There is then another transaction fee when it comes to postage, because of the postage. So even though you put a thing for postage, your postage actually already gets deducted from anyway. So that's another reason why the postage fees go up, is because they actually immediately deduct from whatever you put into the postage fee anyway. There's then a regulator operating fee which they take money off. There's a VAT transaction. There's a shipping transaction. There's another regulator operating thing for the VAT. There's a processing fee, and then there's the relisting of this item fee, as well as the VAT on the renewing the item kind of thing. So as you can see, it does take quite a bit. I will on the screen, I'm sure, put up what the actual total that this takes off of the thing. So the reason why I charge £20 for postage, because legitimately, sadly, that is how much it costs to ship something from the UK, sometimes internationally. As you can see here, this one shipped for £18.15. Like, that's what I bought the postage for from the Royal Mail. I do always use tracked and signed. You can get cheaper if you don't do it tracked and signed, but I like it that way, because that way the postage is always being tracked and the customer can see where it is and what's happening with their item. So I just trust it more. So I know that I'm putting that expense onto the customer, but I like to think somewhere that they like that, because at least they have the reassurance that the item is on their way to them. So that is why I sadly have to charge so much for postage. So that is something to think about when you are pricing your items, not only the postage but also all these other transactions which are being put in as well, which is why my items cost so much on Etsy.
But that is Etsy. But as I said, I will be planning on making a website myself at some point. I haven't done so at the moment because, number one, I don't know how to make a website. People I don't think would trust a website in terms of the fact, like as I said, like you got trust in having like a barrier, whereas like if it's just a website which is just a random website, you don't know whether or not you can trust that. But when I start building a brand and whatnot, then the website, like trafficking people to it, then people will know it's me, and people will know that they can trust, well, hopefully, then people know that they can trust me. But yeah, but that is the plan for doing a website, and I will go through that when I go through that in terms of explaining what happened with making a website and whatnot. But obviously haven't done that yet, so I don't know what the hell goes into it, so I'm not going to pretend that we'll make a video that long time down the line. So this whole channel is about like making a business and you following the journey along with me. So that's which is what you're doing now as I explain this. But anyway, digression, that's part of the channel as well. Let's get into some other places. So you can sell on Amazon. Now Amazon, the thing with it is that you have a monthly fee. I think it's somewhere between like £25 and £30 a month if you wanted to sell on Amazon. They just take that straight off, like in terms of every single month you're paying that just to list on Amazon. And if you sell an item, I think that they take 2.5% or something along those lines. I can't remember the exact details. This was So this is second-hand knowledge in terms of the fact that I know somebody who does sell on Amazon, and that's what they've told me are all the things which go into it. The reason why I don't sell on Amazon is because if you are printing a load of the same thing, putting it in a box, sending it to Amazon, they will then, when somebody buys it from their warehouse, they're put it in a box and send it to some people. That's if you're printing a load of things which are all the same, which admittedly I guess I could do, but I don't. A lot of the things which I do are personalised. People can decide what colours they want, all the different aspects of the items to be, as well as that they can personalise things like the pepper box, that's the word. You could actually personalise it to have different names on all of the different things of the chamber, like what Percy has, and also as it does, like on the sword, I think you can personalise having a name if you wear the name on the sheath, or scabbard. Yeah, anyway. As well as numerous different things. So my items, I like to think are more personalised, and that's the reason why I don't sell on Amazon. Also, I don't know how many I'd sell, so I don't really want to be paying that £30 upfront. It's like a lot to expect straight away when you don't 100% know how it's going to go. That being said, it is a huge marketplace, and there is a number of different people who obviously, like a lot of people use Amazon, so you would have eyes on different things that you did over there. But at the moment, I have not done that. There is also eBay. I believe there are eBay charges as well for selling things and whatnot percentages. I will admit I've not looked into eBay, so I can't give you all the details on that, but I do know obviously that is another place to sell things, as well as obviously your own website, which I would love to go into, but again, I have not done that. But it's trying to get the traffic there, and it's also trying to prove that you're trustworthy. So that's why we need step 4. Step 4 is social media. Social media, like getting your products out there, be it on Instagram, be it on TikTok, be it on Twitter, or it's not Twitter anymore, it's X, isn't it now? And YouTube, getting things out so that people can see what your products are, see how they function is one of the main things, especially with 3D printing. Getting to see how things function, like it makes things like look a lot better. Like it's a lot nicer to see. Oh look, you have dice here, which is a tower, but it's much more nicer when you get to see that it actually functions, right? Social media, getting people interested and showing them and then directing them to where they can buy your stuff from is like a massive part of that. So obviously you'd have to start different accounts and all those different things and start posting. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I will admit I've not cracked the Instagram code yet. I don't know how to do that, but I've been putting things out on TikTok, and I have been putting out YouTube Shorts and things on Facebook and whatnot as well. So again, links all somewhere, probably down below. But that is something that obviously that you'd have to start getting into now. As somebody who's not really the best when it comes to social media, this is something which yet again I'm learning. There's many tutorials online, so I've been trying to watch and try to understand and learn algorithms and such. But as I said, that's something which takes time and something that you need to be thinking about. As I said, getting into it all myself, so learning this stuff myself, you know. But it's something that you have to think about when you're starting a business, because obviously you're small to begin with. Nobody knows who the hell you are, so you need to get the message that, hey, I'm here and I sell things out there. And obviously social media is the way to do that. Which leads to step 5. And step 5 is more of a personal thing, depends on whether or not you want to do it. You don't have to, but I like to personally. It's about customer satisfaction and making sure that they potentially might want to return. So what I do for my shop is that whenever I send something out, I send a letter, which is like a printed and whatnot on this kind of, I don't know whether that's going to focus or whatnot, printed on this paper, which looks old-timey, like it's a thank you adventurer for buying for my shop kind of thing. It's all lovely, nicely worded kind of thing, to make it really feel kind of like D&D kind of. And that's put in a black envelope, which is actually stamped with a wax seal, just because I just feel like that's quite a lovely thing to get. You've got your item, which hopefully people would enjoy as well. Like the item I said, if anyone has any product problems, if they buy something from me and they don't like it, there's a problem with it, please always message me and I'll do my best to see if there's anything I can do, potentially send you a new item, or if there's anything I can say to be able to help you, because at the end of the day, as I said, I want people to enjoy the stuff. So yeah, and it's just a nice little thing to get, a little envelope with a special thank you message. There is also these little things which do appear in some of those envelopes, not all of the envelopes, only some of them. And it does actually explain it in the letter that maybe a little pixie has managed to sneak their way in. Like there is normally like wings and whatnot, but I said this is still making this one at the moment. And on the wings will be a code. And obviously, if you put that code in next time it comes, then there is a discount which you do get for doing so. So like yet again, the site just to get people coming back, a discount every now and again. Speaking of discounts, if you do go to my shop, the gaming treasure chest, the link is on the main channel as well as in the description down below. If you do want to buy anything, then please use the code YouTube64. It's 64 because Nintendo 64 was my favorite console back in the day, but it's just to have a number in there. Like I will put the thing here somewhere, but if you use that code, then you will get 20% off anything that you order from Etsy. So please feel free to do that. So okay, just as a starting point to try and get sales in, this is what I want to do, and I want to be rewarding the people who are watching my content and enjoying stuff and like the stupidity that is me. So I said thank you if you have watched this long, and I said you want to check out some of the stuff that I have on offer, as well as I said that discount code if you do decide to buy anything. But I said like customer satisfaction, I feel, is something that you need to be thinking about as well. But at the moment, that is what I think that is important for starting a 3D printing business. If there's anything else that you would like me to go over, then please put in the comments down below and I'll try and see if I can get to it. As I said, this is a journey which I am taking, as well as you if you're starting a 3D printing business. As I said, like hopefully you found some glimpses of usefulness. If you're not and you're just interested in knowing what's going on with the shop, I hope that this has been a valuable insight to you. And as I said, just thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you want to get more content. I said I will be putting D&D content out as well, so I know there are people going, where's the D&D content, Gomez? It will be there, as well as all this 3D printing nonsense. So thank you so much for your support, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. Until next time.